She was going to have a massive impact offensively, but she set another goal in the beginning of this season to make the defensive list, just like her teammate Makayla Timpson, who was on the 2024 all-defensive team. So the combination of Timpson also having a lot to attack for is a threat Clemson is ready for.
Thank you very much, Alexander Wendling. And well, she mentioned it, Tania Latson, great on both sides of the floor, wasting no time. The Noles win the opening tip, and Latson races right down to the low post and lays in the opening bucket of the game. 2-0 Florida State. The Noles at 13-4 in the whites. Clemson rocking the purple on the road as that ball skips out of play. A turnover for the Tigers to get us started. That'll give us a chance to take a look at Florida State's starting five. It's Latson, Gordon, Timpson, the big three, along with Sydney Bowles, the transfer from Texas A&M. And welcome back to the lineup, Makayla Williams.
Yeah, a little bit of a different look for Brooke Wyckoff's squad today. Makayla Williams back in the lineup, healthy again after missing about 6 weeks.
Put up the J, did Williams, number 22 in white. That rattles out, and here come the Tigers with McQueen. Williams all over McQueen. High-low look, and that is knocked out of play by Florida State. Anya Poole had it sent.
Yeah, Clemson noticed that Amaria Gordon had switched onto the 6'2", Anya Poole, and some good help side defense there from Tania Latson to swat that shot away by Poole.
It's a new-look Clemson roster. Only 4 players from a season ago returned amidst the coaching change. Anya Poole, a transfer from North Carolina, plenty familiar with ACC basketball. That mid-range jumper rattles out. Latson back the other way. Inside Timpson, no problem on the floater. She got bumped as well. An early opportunity for an and one for KK.
A nice assist there from Tania Latson. Again, she's going to draw a lot of the defense to her anytime she has the ball. And she has improved her assist numbers this season as well as her steals, really developing into a complete player for Florida State.
Timpson, the beneficiary, off the dish from Latson. That's 3 quick points for KK. We'll take a look at the Clemson starting five. Loyal McQueen, Addie Porter, Tessa Miller, Anya Poole, and Raven Thompson getting the call from Sean Poppy. Here is McQueen. Penetrates down the lane, now gets it back on the wing. Knocked away inside by Timpson. One back by Thompson, who lays it in.
Timpson ended up on the ground, swatted it away, and none of her teammates could come up with it.
Great work there inside by Tessa Miller. Size is not something Clemson has a lot of, but they will take those transition points heartily.
A nice shot by Loyal McQueen. We said with the ball in her hand, she likes to get downhill and finish at the rim.
Florida State, a team that likes to go fast. Clemson a little bit more deliberate. There's Makayla Williams from the corner.
Williams at 6'4", has the range to step out and shoot the threes. That's why she came to Florida State, is to showcase that outside game that she has.
Transfer from Cincinnati has a 3. Addie Porter teed one up herself. Sydney Bowles clears the glass. Bowles had it taken away by Thompson.
Really good defense there by Raven Thompson. Just held her ground and stripped the ball from Sydney Bowles.
Raven Thompson, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia. One of a few players that came from Chattanooga, where Sean Poppy was last. Tessa Miller transferred in from Belmont, and she knocks down the wing 3.
Tessa Miller at Belmont averaged 14 points a game.
And Tania Latson averages quite a few more than that. She's off to a good start with 5.
Certainly does. Tania Latson, the leading scorer in the nation, averages 26. She has come out firing today for the Noles.
Well, hold on to your hats, folks. If you like offense, so far this has been the game for you. That'll be a trip to the free throw line here for the Tigers. Florida State, meanwhile, has made 3 of their last 3.
I think Florida State head coach Brooke Wyckoff will like the pace that Florida State is playing at. This is the pace that they are used to playing, and they average about 92 points a game, second leading scoring team in the nation. On the other side, Sean Poppy's team likes a little bit slower of a pace, about 68% 68 points per game, and they actually lead the league in defensive points allowed, just under 60 points that they normally allow in a game.
It'll be Loyal McQueen set to try the free throw. She comes in as an 85% foul shooter, and that is something that Sean Poppy said. If we go to the free throw line more than our teams this year, we have typically been more successful. They are predicated on being aggressive. Deliberate, yes, but aggressive.
And this is a Florida State team that leads the league in free throw attempts, so that'll be an interesting stat for us to keep an eye on, Sean. I think you're exactly right. Whichever team can get there the most is probably likely to win this game if they can knock them down. Gotta call a jump ball on that. That will be a Clemson basketball.
Missed layup by Tania Latson before that. That broke a trend of 4 straight made baskets by the Seminoles.
Nice take from Maya Moore. Off the bench, the junior from Alpharetta.
Just like that, Clemson has made 4 of their last 5. Mariana Valenzuela checking in off the bench, gives it up to Timpson. Timpson on Miller, too strong, found back iron.
A good defense there by Tessa Miller, the 6'2 senior.
McQueen gives it up to Moore. Moore back inside to Miller, had it knocked away, but a foul is called against Florida State. That'll go against Amaya Bonner.
Bonner just checked in for Florida State, coming off her best game of the season out in California. The Cal transfer had 14 points and 4 rebounds in 20 minutes of action against the Cal Bears, her former team.
A real testament to being ready when your number is called. And for Amaya, a homecoming of sorts, got to show out back home. All, Clemson looking for their first lead. They've got it 12-11. So Miller cashing in from the free throw line.
So a little bit of a zone defense here by the Clemson Tigers.
Valenzuela off to the left on her 3-ball attempt, and here come the Tigers back the other way. Moore to the corner. McQueen.
Boy, McQueen's so shifty and quick with the ball in her hands.
Florida State bringing the switch. And nice job picking through the defense by McQueen.
Yeah, nice job by Tessa Miller there to hold off KK Timpson, keeping her from that shot blocking ability and getting over and rotating and help side.
The Tigers have made their last 3 shots. They've scored each of the last 7 points. Inside, Timpson, turnaround, count it.
KK Timpson now with 5 quick points for Florida State.
Each of these teams off to a hot start from the floor. Florida State shooting 55%. The Tigers shooting 62%. And that'll help the cause. McQueen with 2 more. She's got 7 here in this first quarter.
Nice mid-range pull-up jumper there from McQueen.
Good ball movement by Florida State. Latson tees up the 3 and misses. Moore trying to round the corner. Latson got a hand in there. It remains with the Tigers on the baseline. Bonner got a hand on it. It will remain with Clemson. She couldn't corral it before she crashed into her bench. But what a fun first quarter it has been so far. The Tigers have made their last 4 shots. Where he's gone, Melissa, he has won, and it's a great ad for the ACC.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he's got this Clemson squad rolling so far this season. They've already knocked off a ranked Cal Bear team, and they were the team of the week just 2 weeks ago.
They've made each now of their last 5 shots. Mia Moore with the lay-in right out of the media break. Amaya Bonner tees up a 3 from the wing, too strong. Something you noticed, Melissa, over that media timeout, now 12 paint points for Clemson. That is not usually something you see from the Tigers, at least so far this season.
Yeah, you expect Clemson to shoot from the perimeter, but they have been able to get into the paint. As you see again there, that's Loyal McQueen. Now 14 of their 20 points have come in the paint so far.
They have made each of their last 6. They're on a 13-2 run. And there you said it, 14 points in the paint to 4 for Florida State. It's a 7-point lead for Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson been able to put the ball on the floor and get by these Florida State defenders. Shooting at 73% so far in this game are the Clemson Tigers.
Florida State looking for an answer. Tania Latson, you would think, is a good place to start. Needs some help, though. Timpson corrals the basketball on the perimeter, driving to the window and laying it in strong off the glass.
Okay, Timpson already 7 big points for Florida State to lead the way. Some aggressive take off the dribble in the senior post.
3 for 4 from the floor for KK Timpson. Can the Noles find a stop on this end of the floor, though? Inside again, there it is. It's better than a stop. It's a live ball turnover, just what the Tigers want to cut down on. Latson gets the points in transition off the turnaround jumper. It's a 1-score game.
Tania Latson now with 7 points in 7 minutes. Got a quick break and came right back in. Let's take another look here. Latson puts her hand in the passing lane there on the backdoor cut, and then just takes it coast to coast. That little turnaround jump shot has become kind of a patented move for Tania Latson. We've seen that a lot throughout her first 2.5 seasons here in Tallahassee.
Got a friendly assist from the rim there. Got the roll as well, did Latson. Omaria Gordon was called for the bump, so that's a personal foul on number 3 in white, guarding McQueen on the left wing. Inside out ball movement, good looking shot for Moore, left all alone on the wing, and she makes Florida State pay.
Moore, a 40% three-point shooter. Everybody collapsed in and left her open.
And that ball's knocked almost out of play. Clemson saves it, it's a turnover, and here come the Tigers in transition. McQueen trying to work her way around Gordon. Timpson comes up to Hedge. Now it's Cone giving it back up to McQueen. Moore looking for an angle. Up top, Cone, hot shooter, misses.
Cone, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Those cannot leave her that open. She'll make them pay.
1.5 minutes left of this opening quarter. It's the Tigers by 6. The jumper did not go for Omaria Gordon. Hit front iron. Moore down low, dishes it up, and Anya Poole crashes another one in. Another jumper for Poole.
Florida State got caught in that switch again, and Poole had the smaller Tania Latson on her.
Now it's Timpson back the other way. It'll be a jump ball. It will remain with Florida State off that block.
Big time block by graduate transfer Anya Poole. Played at North Carolina for her first 4 seasons and now has transferred over to play just down the road at Clemson.
Sydney Bowles, it'd be a big 3 if Florida State can cash that in. It rims out though, and here come the Tigers trying to pad their lead. Sits at 8, their largest of the game to this point. Miller on Timpson. Now inside Miller with the left hand short. 3-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Bowles tried to lay it in too strong, there to collect the ball off the weak side. KK Timpson sticks it back up for Florida State.
Ends a 2-minute and 30-second scoring drought. Timpson now 9 points, 3 rebounds for the Noles.
Strong first quarter for KK Timpson, but a lot of work to do for the Noles, trailing by 6. McQueen shot attempt, no good. Here comes Latson. One final heave at the horn. And that'll put an end to quarter number 1. Melissa, back and forth we go. The Tigers lead by 6. Coach Brooke coming into quarter number 2, what do you need your team to do mainly on that defensive side of the floor to to slow Clemson down a little bit.
Yeah, I think you've got to do a little better job defending one-on-one and improving those angles with your feet, not allowing Clemson to get to the rim on the dribble penetration and on those switches.
14 paint points for Clemson in the first quarter. They're 25 points in that quarter, their highest scoring first quarter of the season, along with when they played NC Central at Littlejohn Coliseum.
Again, this is a Clemson team that only averages 68 points a game, and they're on a pace to score a lot.
Whistled for the foul off the inbounds play. Malaya Williams tried to pop that ball up, then tried to knock it away. She'll be called for the personal.
It's a good look inside from Malaya Williams off of that inbound play. Nia Latson just lobs it up there to her, and just a little bit too strong for Lay.
So here come the Tigers, now leading by 8. And just another thought too, Melissa, on top of their ability to get into the paint, they have been strong on the glass as well.
Yeah, and this is a Clemson team that leads the ACC in defensive rebounding percentage. They get 76% of the rebounds on the defensive end.
Turnage from the wing, too strong. There's a good rebound by Florida State, but Williams could not cash it in. Latson with quick hands. And here comes the tempo. She loses the dribble and turns it back over to the Tigers.
Nia Latson going so fast.
Jeffrey Smith, Meadow Overstreet, Tom Danaher. They will be getting their steps in clearly here today as they track the action. Nearly another turnover. Thompson saves it. Here's Cone. Inside. McQueen does well to save it on the baseline. Thompson pulls up from the free throw line and cashes it in.
Raven Thompson, another transfer from Chattanooga. Started 63 of the 65 games she played in for Sean Poppy at Chattanooga.
That'll be another foul on Addie Porter, who was playing Omaria Gordon tight.
Let's go back to Raven Thompson. She was the SoCon Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. She's already got over 1,000 career points. You can see why on that last possession.
Yeah, not only the Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago, was on the all-conference team last year as well. Averaged 14 and 7 points and rebounds per game for the Mocs. Timpson. Couldn't score over Miller. Miller, undersized, has done an admirable job down in the post for the Tigers.
Backdoor cuts.
Took the extra step.
Went down hard. Kind of got her feet taken out from under her. Just a little off balance as she caught that one and traveled with the basketball, but you can see this Clemson team looking for the backdoor cuts. Annie Dos Santos there stepped over in defensive help position and forced the turnover.
So Dos Santos draws the charge. Turnage gives it up to Gordon. Gordon still looking to score her first points of the game. She averages over 16 per. Clemson brings the double on the baseline. She gets it up to Snoop Turnage, who cashes in from the mid-range.
Snoop Turnage, everybody backed off her. Shoots it about 30% from the floor. They were giving her space, and she took advantage of it.
Turnover. And here comes Bowles. Cone racing back in transition, but to no avail.
And that's when Florida State is at their best, when they can force turnovers or live ball rebounds, and they get out and can score in transition as they did there.
And just like that, Florida State has trimmed the lead to 6. 6:45 left in the half, and here's Gordon on the breakaway. She'll lay it up for her first points, and the lead is down to 4. Timeout, Tigers.
Sean Poppy not happy with his team. He knows that if you turn the ball over, Florida State is going to capitalize on it.
Florida State has worked their way back into it through some good transition work.
Yeah, and really on the defensive end, Florida State has applied a little bit more pressure. They've been a little more aggressive. They've forced 4 turnovers in the last 3 minutes, and they've been able to convert those into some points off of turnovers here early on in this quarter.
It'll be Clemson with the basketball as we get it going once again. McQueen skips it to the corner and more. Thompson up top, down the lane, bounces it to Miller, knocked away by Timpson. Another empty possession for the Tigers, and here comes Omaria Gordon.
The ACC's leader in blocks, KK Timpson, steps up.
Corrals the miss. Dos Santos for 3. And here is that difference in pace. You saw Florida State race down the floor. McQueen settling things in, slowing things down. This is how the Tigers want to operate. They want to dictate in terms of pace, at least when they're in their own half court. Four on the shot clock. Moore hung on to it too long.
Cone able to knock it down, but the shot clock had already gone off. Another good defensive possession for Florida State.
Exactly what Sean Poppy said. Clemson could ill afford is to continue to turn the basketball over. And that is now their 5th in the last 4 minutes. Timpson from the free throw line, that's short. Tried to get back her own miss. Gordon got a hand in there. It's still live, and we've got a tie-up. It remains with the Noles.
Maria Gordon showing those quick hands.
Speaking of Gordon, working on Evans, now giving it up to Timpson. Turnaround off the mark.
Back-to-back misses there for KK Timpson. Some good looks for her inside.
After an offensive first quarter, the defenses have taken over here in the second. McQueen on the wing, approaching 10 on the shot clock. FSU brings the double. Cone off the ball rotation, in and out.
That's a good look for one of the best three-point shooters in the league, Hannah Cone.
Gordon is fouled on the way in. 2 free throws coming for Omaria Gordon.
Take another look. A bit of contact up top, and that'll send Omaria Gordon to the free throw line. The Noles have only been there one time. I mentioned they lead the ACC in free throw attempts. Omaria Gordon, one of the best free throw shooters in the ACC at 88%. 3rd currently in the ACC standings.
And interesting there too, Melissa, watching Gordon blow by defenders. One of those points of emphasis Coach Poppy mentioned, just watching film. Can we get as many bodies as possible in front of the likes of Gordon and Latson when they come screaming down off of ball screens?
Quite honestly, Sean, they have done a really good job of that. That's one of the first times that Florida State has been able to penetrate and get a clean look at the rim. Latson now going to come back in. Gordon going to take a break for the Noles.
Just like that, the lead is down to 2.
It's an 8-0 run for the Noles.
Yeah, Clemson needs a bucket. Cone looking for space. Cashes in from the top of the key.
Nice screen set up top. I think that was Tessa Miller.
Cone, who didn't really start playing organized basketball until she was a high school sophomore. Talk about a quick progression. Bonner left alone, too strong.
And right on target for Amaya Bonner, just a little bit too long, a little bit too much juice on that one.
McQueen back to Cone. Cone gave it up to Thompson. Florida State will be called for the reach.
Sydney Bowles with the reach, and Brooke Wyckoff not happy. That's 2 now on Sydney Bowles. She'll have to go to the Seminole bench.
As you mentioned, 2 for Bowles, 1 for Malaya Williams, 1 for Bonner, 1 for Omaria Gordon. Into McQueen. Now it's Miller splitting through defenders. Williams got a hand in there and knocked it away. Another block for Florida State. Latson to the corner. Bonner double clutches and catches in a tray.
Talked about Amaya Bonner and what a season-high performance she had at Cal, picking up right where she left off with a big three there for the Noles.
And once again, it's a one-score game with 3 minutes left in the half. Cohn thought about it. Timpson got a hand in there. 5 left, McQueen. Good defense again by Florida State.
And that was some good defense, some nifty moves from Loyal McQueen, but Dos Santos stayed in front.
Williams for a trailer. Florida State is one of their last 7. Clemson has not been able to really get many shots off. They've turned the ball over a bunch here over the last handful of minutes. The few that they have also gone by the wayside. Evans.
Now that's a tough shot for Summa Evans. A good look for the Tigers.
Lead back up to 4. Inside to Timpson. Turnaround is short. Good defense there by Miller.
Timpson got off to that hot start. Now missed her last few attempts from the floor. Left that one a little bit short. The one before that was a little too long.
9 points, 6 rebounds in the first half for Timpson, though that one goes wanting. 10 left. Inside out ball movement. Thompson tees one up. That's too strong. 9 points, 7 rebounds in the first half for KK Timpson.
Timpson averages a double-double, set to tie the double-double record here if she can get one today.
Well on her way, Dos Santos, nice move into the paint, too strong.
And another good look for Florida State. You can't fault the shot selection. Just shooting at 25% here in this quarter, 4 of 16 shooting for the Noles. Clemson on the flip side is connected on 4, but only 10 attempts.
Big offensive rebound, that'll reset the shot clock. And off the second effort, a kiss off the glass and another bucket for the Tigers. That is now their 5th made basket of this quarter. And they extend the lead back up to 6.
That was a long stretch without a break. Coach Brooke Wyckoff for the Seminoles, I think, decided she wanted to get some subs in the game.
Wyckoff said it. When it applies to the rivalry games like the ones against Clemson and Miami, and she said, frankly, when it applies to conference play in general, throw out the records, throw out what a team has done recently. You know you're in for a battle week in, week out in this league, and here we are with Clemson on the road leading by 6.
Everybody has really good players in the ACC. Everybody has really good coaches. It's a battle every night in this league.
Florida State will try to trim into the lead right here. Latson drew contact. It'll be 2 free throws for Tanaya.
The first free throws of the game for Tanaya Latson. Leads the league in attempts and makes from the free throw line, but hadn't gotten there yet today.
Cashes in on the first.
Florida State, one of their last 9 from the floor. No field goals in the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds, yet they've still been able to cut into this Clemson lead here in this quarter.
It's 25-19 Clemson at the end of the first quarter. FSU brings the double once again on McQueen. 10 left. Evans off the dribble penetration, mid-range, got it.
She's money from the mid-range. That's the second time we've seen it. A little bit off balance, but knocks it down. Summa Evans coming in off the bench. Doing good things for Sean Poppy and these Tigers.
Oh, nifty dish there from Tanaya Latson. could have put that ball up herself, but tees up Makayla Williams, and Florida State cuts the lead to 4 at the half.
Yeah, unselfish play that time by Makayla Latson. Drew again, all the defense, seeing the floor.
For Florida State, so far though, Clemson has handled the moment and the venue well. The Tigers lead by 4, and they get us started working right to left at the Donald L. Tucker Center. Addie Porter operating with it at the logo, now driving into the paint. McQueen found an angle, doesn't get the bounce though, knocked around, and Florida State clears the glass.
Makayla Timpson there tipping it around, and Makayla Williams brings it in.
No hesitation there for Makayla Latson, driving right to the rim, couldn't get the roll. And here comes McQueen. In front of her bench, back and forth between McQueen and Thompson. Porter to Poole, guarded by Timpson, inside 10, approaching 5. Strong defense by Florida State. It's a jump ball, and the Noles will take over.
Good. Doyle McQueen's legs got tangled up with Amaria Gordon there as they both dove to the ground. It's gonna take a minute to retie that ankle, but it looks like her ankle kind of got rolled up on there, and you certainly hope Doyle McQueen's gonna be okay. She has put on an outstanding performance, and the Tigers need her.
Yeah, you hate to see her stay down on the floor for an extra second, and to that point, Makayla Latson and Amaria Gordon both gave her a pat on the back.
She's tough. She's going to be okay. Tie that shoe up and get back at it. That was some good defense by the Noles on that opening possession.
So we resume where we started the half, 38-34 Clemson, make it 38-37 Clemson, and opening 3 for Amaria Gordon to start the scoring for the Noles in the second half.
Amaria Gordon getting it done right there in front of the Seminole bench.
Poole.
Makayla Timpson got off the ground. Great job by Poole to give her the little shot fake. Timpson going for the big block. Poole, the veteran. Take another look here. Amaria Gordon right there in the corner. Buries it.
That's the first personal called against KK Timpson in this contest. Good looking free throw there for Poole.
Poole on the season shooting just about 61% from the floor, about 64% from the free throw line. Looks good hitting both of those.
So the lead is back to 3 for Clemson. Still a 1-possession game as we get this second half rolling. First couple of minutes of the second half here in Tallahassee.
Getting some zone defense here being played by Clemson.
Up top, Bowles, good look. Off to the right.
Leaving Thompson there to clean up the glass for the Tigers. Their 7th rebound of the game already.
7 rebounds to go along with 4 points for Thompson. Working downhill. Does get it to Poole. Short range floater, no good.
Good job by Clemson getting back in transition defense, though, not allowing looks for Florida State. Oh, and maybe a little quick
I was gonna
for
say,
Makayla Williams. We know she has that range, but I think she could have gotten a better look. She could get that look at almost any point in the shot clock.
I was going to say, I don't think that's the shot Florida State was looking for there. Good ball movement, though, for Clemson. Thompson short on the 3. And a nice job. Athletic rebound for Timpson in traffic, bringing down the basketball for Florida State. In rhythm, Gordon, 3 more for OMG, who got knocked into her own bench. No foul called, but we're tied 40 apiece.
Couple of threes there for Amaria Gordon. She's in double figures, the first player for Florida State to reach the double-digit mark tonight.
And mind you, did not score a point in the first quarter. Amaria Gordon turning it on in a hurry. Thompson lost the handle for a second, got it back. Porter now at the ACC logo, dribbles it back out to the right wing. Inside 10 once again. Porter knocks it down low, and it's knocked away by Latson. Here come the Noles. Clemson does a good job getting back again. Latson collapses the defense, leaves Bowles wide open. That misses everything, though, and Kareem's out of play.
Take another look at second three from OMG. Couldn't quite see out of the camera shot why she ended up on the ground. What a good look for Amaria Gordon.
Valenzuela checks in for Florida State. Malaya Williams will get a breather. Here's Mia Moore bringing it into the fourth court for Clemson and taking it all the way to the rack.
Florida State there didn't have the right angle on the dribble penetration, and Moore makes them pay.
And so once again, the Tigers lead. Latson nearly lost the handle. Timpson there to crash the glass. It's a foul on the floor. It remains with Florida State.
9 points, 9 rebounds now for KK Timpson as we keep an eye on the double-double watch.
Tasha Howard, the current double-double queen for Florida State. KK Timpson has a chance to catch her and then perhaps pass her this week alone. Gordon, mid-range, too strong, tried to corral her own miss and will be called for the bump on Miller.
Not sure if that'll go on Gordon or Timpson. I think both players were there hustling after the ball, but Miller got there first. Credit her for the hustle play.
Second personal foul called on Amaria Gordon. And she will be relieved by Amaya Bonner.
Got to imagine that she's just going to take a quick breather over there. The senior point guard for Florida State, an invaluable member of this team. Leads the league in assist turnover ratio at 3.3 in the positive. That's an illegal screen by Tessa Miller.
The offensive foul also counts as a turnover for the Tigers. That is the 11th Tiger turnover so far in this game. Valenzuela tees one up. In and out, caught back iron. Moore left alone. And Mia Moore has been a lightning bolt off the bench here in this third quarter. 5 points for Moore.
And Moore averages 11 points a game and shoots at 40% from the three-point line on the season. Gotta know where she's at, close out.
Second made three for Moore, who's got 12 in the contest. Bowles tees up a three. That is good!
Bowles, her first made three of the game. 5 points now for the transfer from Texas A&M.
Combe had it taken away. Tanaya Latson dribbled it off her foot, got it back, keeps it, couldn't get the roll. Timpson nearly lost it on the way up, fights through contact, and I believe a jump ball is called. FSU thought they surely not only had the bucket, but an and one. It's a jump ball, and that will take us to our midway media break. The Tigers still in front by 2 here in Tallahassee. 40.
Double-double is imminent for Makayla Timpson, and if she gets one more point in this game, which I'm sure she will be tying Natasha Porter. And then she has the possibility to break that record coming up in Miami, but we'll see if she can get it done tonight.
And thank you very much, Alexandra. The defense there by Mariana Valenzuela. I'd follow that with more thought, but FSU is turning on the afterburners in transition. Latson couldn't get the roll, gets back her own miss, and she will shoot a pair of free throws.
Yeah, no time for follow-up comments on KK Timpson. Tanaya Latson with the ball in her hands and trying to make quick work on the offensive end after coming up with the defensive rebound.
Amaria Gordon, the first Seminole into double figures in this game. Tanaya Latson, 1 point away from joining her, and she does.
Yeah, touched on it earlier, but Tanaya Latson has really improved her court vision and her passing here this season. 5 assists already to go along now with those 11 points for the nation's leading scorer.
Leading leading scorer who's recorded as many as 10 assists this season in a game. So has a handful of steals. She's got 4 so far in this game. McQueen doesn't get the roll. Timpson calling for the basketball. Clemson was last to touch it. KK was correct.
That was nearly a big offensive rebound for Tessa Miller. She came in crashing hard, had her hands on the ball, just couldn't come away with it.
It's a Clemson team that is in the bottom third of the conference in rebounding, 14th in fact of the 18, but they are out rebounding Florida State so far, 26-23, make it 27-23.
Again, they don't get a lot of rebounds to the Clemson Tigers, but their percentages are really good. They lead the ACC in defensive rebounding percentage. 76% of the rebounds go to them.
Cone, inside 10. FSU brings the double on Miller. Tigers are running out of time. McQueen heaves up a prayer, and the bank apparently is open for McQueen.
Big time shot from Loyal McQueen, the graduate transfer.
Dos Santos trying to make her way around Summer Evans. Is this the moment for Timpson? You bet it's a double-double for KK.
Nice assist there from Dos Santos through the defense. Nice little dish over to KK Timpson. Nice turnaround jumper to get that 40th career double-double.
Florida State again brings the heavy ball pressure. They'll be called for the foul, though.
It's Tess Miller again there on the offensive glass. She's got 10 rebounds already, just 5 points to show for it, but she's going to go to the line here. And you mentioned the transfer from Belmont, averaged last year 14.4 points a game, 6.2 rebounds.
Coming out of Belmont, you know, you speak with folks around the Clemson program, and frankly, she's playing a little out of position. She's more of a 4 than she is a 5, and we've mentioned it a couple of times. The Tigers, to say they're not the tallest team in the conference or the country would be an understatement, and so out of necessity, she's rotated over and played the 5. It's been a tough assignment for her, but she has done a lot of hard and quality work tonight.
Certainly has. I mean, she's got 10 rebounds to show for it. That's pretty impressive.
Villegas tees up the 3 and knocks it down. And Florida State finds their way in front. Their first lead since there was 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first quarter.
Will Loyal McQueen have an answer for the Clemson Tigers?
Miller, no look to Thompson off the wing. Dribble drive. Back up top, Cone. Miller. Guarded by 2 Noles. It's a jump ball, possession arrow to Florida State.
Yeah, the one thing you can't do if you're Tess Miller in that situation is put the ball on the floor. There's too many hands reaching in. Florida State too aggressive right now, and that's a turnover for Tess Miller and the Clemson Tigers. That is their 13th of the game.
A 16-point third quarter and counting for Florida State. Gordon comes to a stop in the lane. Up top to Villegas, back to Timpson. Turnaround is short. And the glass is cleared by Miller.
I'd love to see KK Timpson put it on the floor and drive by Tess Miller, make her have to guard her, instead of shooting for the fadeaway dumper.
50-48 Florida State. Moore splits the pair of defenders. Miller left alone above the free throw line, and she gets the roll.
Yeah, it looked like she was not sure if she wanted to shoot a set shot or a jump shot, but smooth shot from Tess Miller. 8 points, 11 rebounds now for her.
2 double-doubles on the season for Miller, approaching what could be her 3rd here in Tallahassee tonight. More importantly, though, for her Tigers, that last jumper tied us for the moment at 50 until we're going to have a trip to the free throw line here for Omaria Gordon.
Omaria Gordon nearly came up with the circus shot there, drew the contact, was able to use her left hand and get it up to the rim. Couldn't make it count, but she'll go to the free throw line for the Noles.
Clemson wants to shoot more free throws tonight than Florida State. Florida State shoots more than any team in the country. The Tigers have done a good job in keeping FSU away from the free throw line, but Melissa, I'd submit to you, it's one thing to go to the line a bunch, it's another thing to cash in. And regardless of whether Florida State has gone there a bunch or not, they continue to do so. They are now a perfect 9 of 9 from the charity stripe so far in this game.
Maria Gordon now 4 of 4 tonight. Latson 4 of 4 from the line for the Noles.
You thought for a second I jinxed them, didn't you?
I thought there might be an announcer jinx coming.
No dice there. 52-50 Florida State. Cone from the corner, got all 3 of those, and Clemson takes the lead.
That's what you got to guard against if you're Florida State. You know Hannah Cone gonna launch it.
Villegas made a 3. Gordon has made 2. She's made 3. And FSU takes the lead right back.
Back and forth we go here on the Thursday night at the Tuck. Everybody launching rainbows out there.
McQueen had it knocked away. It remains with the Tigers. Moore looking for space. Poole up top. McQueen guarded by Timpson. Nice pass. Good ball movement. Cone mid-range. And what an effort off the weak side. Moore lays it up, and she will go to the free throw line to give Clemson the lead once again.
What unselfish play that time by the Clemson Tigers. They made the extra pass about 3 different times to get a good look, and then Moore there at just 5'6" on the weak side, sneaks in, grabs the rebound, sticks it back, and draws the foul from Amaria Gordon. That's 3 on Gordon.
Back and forth we continue to go. You would have to think Florida State's going to have the last say, but considering how quick they go, maybe Clemson gets another possession. We are tied 55 apiece off the free throw miss. Latson downhill, knocked out of play. It remains with the Noles.
Good decision for Tania Latson to take the ball in her own hands and try to get to the rim. She's complaining that she got fouled. Officials didn't see it that way, but the Noles will have 4 seconds left on the clock here. Look for them to go inside to KK Timpson, maybe throw it over the top.
They do go over the top to Timpson, who got tripped in the lane. And that'll be, I believe, the 5th on Clemson.
That should put KK Timpson at the free throw line for the 2nd time today. She's already reached that double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Good execution there on the inbounds play for the Seminoles. 4 seconds was plenty of time for KK Timpson to try to take advantage inside.
(56-55) Florida State. Clemson led after the first quarter. They led at the half. They'll have 2.5 seconds after this free throw to perhaps do so again. They'll hang on to it though, and it's Florida State who heads into the 4th quarter off a 22-point third. Minutes. Yeah, bite those nails. Pop some popcorn. 1-point game between the Tigers and the Noles here at the Donald L. Tucker Center.
Every possession so important now here as we go down the stretch.
Good ball movement there by the Tigers. Didn't get the roll, though, in the paint. And so here comes Florida State looking to extend the lead. Latson will do just that. Friendly roll off the front iron and through for Tania.
Look for Tania Latson to have the ball in her hands a lot for Florida State here in this 4th quarter.
Lead up to 3. FSU led midway through the first quarter. It had largely been all Clemson since until a massive flip of momentum in the 3rd quarter by the Noles, and that is a turnover on the baseline.
Yeah, Loyal McQueen there trying to get to the baseline, past that first Seminole defender and kick it across the baseline to her teammate, but she had a host of white jerseys there and she dribbled down the sideline.
Dos Santos off the shot fake, gives it back up to Latson inside 20. Latson down the lane, doesn't get the roll. Williams does collect the miss, can't finish, And McQueen brings it down for Clemson.
Those are two great looks in the paint for Florida State.
They'll still lead by 3. Mia Moore off the left wing. Noles didn't bite on the shot fake. Cone up top. A foul called in the lane. It'll be on the floor and against FSU.
I didn't see who got tangled up with Tessa Miller there. It was on kind of a screen and roll action. I think it was Sydney Bowles that was able to bump the cutter, trying to not let Tess Miller get to the paint.
And that is the 3rd personal called on Sydney Bowles.
That's going to be an illegal screen that time by Raven Thompson. She was trying to get Cone open for the 3. Didn't get set on that. It's another turnover for the Clemson Tigers. Make it 15 now on the purple jerseys.
That's the 2nd illegal screen called on the Tigers in this half. Florida State has led by as many as 5. Nice block there by Moore, and FSU loses the handle. Timpson was there for a potential stick back, but just couldn't quite ever get a firm grasp of the basketball.
Yeah, good block there, and it just kind of bounced off Dos Santos, and Timpson not quite aggressive enough. Just go grab it, stick it back in.
McQueen lost the handle. Jump ball to Florida State.
Tamaria Gordon there on the steal, diving on the floor. These players willing to sacrifice their body. They know what this game means.
16th turnover by Clemson.
Oh, McQueen gonna get a quick break here. Can't imagine Sean Poppy's gonna go very long without her, maybe to the under 5 media timeout if he can hang on that long. See if Noles can take advantage without McQueen in the lineup.
Latson up top. Trying to make her way around. Moore gets the roll. An acrobatic finish for Tania Latson. And this equals the Noles' largest lead. The last time they led by this much was at 5-0.
A little off balance for Tania Latson, but it's her 15th points of the game to open up the lead for the Noles.
Thompson tried to work her way around Bowles. Miller, big offensive rebound for the Tigers. Second chance opportunity with Cone trying to get around Gordon. 10 left. And a huge block by Timpson. That'll go to Florida State.
That was last touch by Raven Thompson. Timpson came over to swat that one and swatted it right down, back off the hands. Let's take another look. Timpson right off the hands of Raven Thompson for the Noles.
5-point lead for FSU. Timpson, one of the best blockers in the country. In fact, comes in as the 2nd best. And Carla Villegas, one of the best 3-point shooters in the country. Doesn't matter if she's hot or if she's not. She is always dangerous, and the Noles lead by 8.
And that's exactly why Carla Villegas is in the game right now, is her ability to knock down the long-range shot. Noles do a great job finding her in the corner. She knocks down a big one to give the Noles the lead.
And Melissa Bruner, Florida State has really turned it on in this second half.
Yeah, they've really amped up the defense there. You see the big block from KK Timpson, and then Carla Villegas making it rain. Getting her teammates up off the bench, fired up. Nobody more fired up than her teammate Tania Latson.
63-55 Florida State. When you take a look at the big 3, there they are leading the way for Florida State. 15 for Gordon, 15 for Latson, 12 more for Timpson. And I think it's interesting, Melissa, Sean Poppy told us before the game, he said, look, when it comes to the big three for Florida State, you cannot expect to stop them. What you can do is you can expect to limit them. For a while, the Tigers did a good job of that, but those three have had their way, especially here in this half.
Yeah, such dominant players, all three of them in their own right. Loyal McQueen trying to get things right for the Tigers.
Best look in a while for Clemson. Evans couldn't cash it in. Cone, not nearly as good of a look, nearly bounced that one through for a three. No dice for the Tigers. FSU has a chance to stretch the lead even further. What a dish by Latson, and Timpson gets the roll.
They got 7 assists now for Tania Latson to go with her 15 points. The Noles have opened up their largest lead now at 10.
Each team has now led by double figures. This is the first time FSU, to your point, Melissa, can say that. And it's at the right time if you're a fan of the garnet and gold. But right back the other way come the Tigers. Miller gets the finish, the double-double, and an and one.
Yeah, nice job there by Hannah Cone to beat her player one-on-one. You know she wants to shoot it, so they go out, close out too hard, and then nobody there to finish up on Tessa Miller. Too much contact for the Noles. Great finish for Miller. Double-double there, you see 10 points, 12 rebounds for the senior from Crossville, Tennessee.
Miller, who scored her 1,000th career point in the Tigers' win against Radford, has had a strong showing here tonight. Couldn't cash in on the and one opportunity, though, and Florida State's lead is up to 8. Foul on the floor against Tania Latson, or against Clemson.
Trying to guard Tania Latson,
exactly.
because it's nearly impossible to guard Tania Latson. Cone doing an admirable job, but with a little extra bump, knocked Latson off her line. That's just a second team foul on Clemson.
Bowles trying to get that ball in, trying to find a teammate. Timpson skies for it, puts it on the floor. Strong drive to the bucket, and a good finish for KK.
That's the drive I wanted from KK Timpson earlier. I feel like she's got the advantage there against Tessa Miller. Took advantage of her athleticism and got to the rim. 16
points for Timpson to go along with 10 boards. Moore splits the defense, tied up with Latson. Jump ball called. It will remain with Clemson.
Missing on that last personal foul by Amaria Gordon. Gordon on the bench now because she has those 4 personal fouls. Brooke Wyckoff having to bring Hayani Dos Santos back into the game for the Noles.
Gordon, the only player on either team with 4. A few more have 3. McQueen with the finger roll, didn't get the roll.
Don't expect that one to roll out for Loyal McQueen. Bad break for her.
Latson nearly lost the dribble, got it back, tees up Villegas, short on the 3, bouncing around. Everybody's crashing for the basketball. Who's it gonna come out with? Jump ball to Florida State.
AK Timpson just tipping it to herself that time in a little bit of a volleyball tip. Clemson there, though, to apply the pressure, and everybody sacrificing their body on the floor. KK Timpson going to get a quick breather here again. Probably just going to go till the under 5 media and then right back in.
Latson off the inbound. She can do it all, can't she?
Nia Latson with the big 3. The Noles outscoring Clemson here in the fourth quarter, 14-2.
18 points for Latson off the spot up 3 in the corner. Good work defensively by the Noles, who are feeling it here in this second half. Inside 5 left. Latson keeps it. Right hand doesn't get the finish. Knocked out of play. It'll go to the Tigers. A 7-0 run for Florida State, who's made 5 of their last 7 shots, opening up their biggest lead of the night at home. Melissa Bruner, Alexandra Wendling, our entire crew here with you as Florida State, riding a massive wave of momentum in this second half, looks to improve on the season. But hang on. Thompson from the wing knocks down the tray.
And Thompson says, not so fast.
Bulls are trying to go 14-4, 4-2 in conference. Villegas got 3 more.
3 of 4 from the three-point line for 9 points for Carla Villegas.
Came into this game as a 42% shooter from beyond the perimeter. That'll help. McQueen lost the dribble out of play. It goes off her foot into Florida State.
Loyal McQueen trying to be shifty with the ball, kicked it out. Carla Villegas has a chance to set her feet. Doesn't miss very often if you leave her that open. Maria Gordon gonna check back in for the Noles. She's been red hot from the three-point line as well. Perfect 3 of 3.
Sydney Bowles, why not?
Noles shooting at 46% from the three-point line, 12 of 26 from the 3 for the Noles, and that's a little 6-0 run. Now a steal for the Noles. Take a look here, Sydney Bowles way beyond the three-point line, drains it. Loyal McQueen with the turnover. The Noles will get another possession. Noles have outscored Clemson here 20-5 now in this quarter, including this 6-0 run.
Going back to their work on the perimeter, Florida State in this half, 9 of 15 from the bonus sphere. That is 60%. Couple of free throws coming. Makayla Timpson has had a good night. Another double-double that now equals Natasha Howard. 16 points, 12 rebounds. And the free throw line has pretty much been her only nemesis tonight. She's got a couple of misses there, but she has been impressive in general nonetheless.
Yeah, Makayla Timpson before tonight, 83% from the line, 7th in the ACC. From the free throw line, knocks down 1 of 2 there. Something else to keep an eye on. We talked about Tessa Latson scoring, but she's got 9 assists, so she is nearing a double-double if she could get 1 more assist here tonight.
Bump called against Dos Santos. You mentioned those assists for Tessa Latson. Yes, a double-double potentially on the horizon for 0-0, but that would also equal her career high in assists at 2 times, both this season against NC Central and then in the Paradise Jam against Gonzaga. Just over 3 minutes left in regulation. Moore, inside to Miller, inside out Evans, can't get the 3 to go. Good ball movement and a good look, but empty.
Really good look for Summer Evans and a good rebound by Sydney Bowles.
Pull up 3 for Latson, goes wanting. Inside 3 minutes now, the lead 17 for the Noles. Every possession so vital for Clemson here. No margin for error. And the task already tough enough against this gritty, tenacious, up-tempo, high-octane FSU team. Can't lose the handle. Moore gets it back. Miller.
If that stays with Clemson, there's only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Florida State making it hard on the Tigers.
I didn't see a call one way or another, but I believe it's off of Clemson.
Everybody's staying at this end of the floor, so they're going to say it is Clemson ball.
And it's still Clemson ball, but now 1.3 left.
All right, Gordon in there to swat it away. Gonna need some help from a courtside seat holder there to grab it. Thought you might have to go assist, Sean Davison. You still got it?
Maybe.
We'll see.
Off the inbounds, Miller, my goodness!
Drains it, Tess Miller. What else can she do tonight? 13 points, 12 rebounds for the senior.
Latson back the other way, too strong. Offensive rebound, Bowles. It remains with Florida State. I believe Porter stepped on the end line, or the baseline, I should say, when she corralled that loose ball. Latson operating with the basketball to Timpson, can't get the roll. Latson just wrestles it away and goes up top to Dos Santos for three. Not to be.
Tonight, Latson didn't want to give that one up. She was trying to take it right back up and score it, but a good unselfish play. She was also trying to get a 6-0 on the season with an 81-66 win over the Yellow Jackets.
Latson got a hand in there. Dos Santos trying to wrestle the ball away as well. Final 2 minutes of play here in Tallahassee tonight. Thompson nearly threw it away. Moore collects it before it's an over and back violation.
A lot of time going off the clock here.
And time Clemson cannot afford to burn. Miller had it knocked away. Latson bumped. And that'll be the 5th on Clemson. Tonight will shoot a couple of free throws.
Florida State has gotten to the line 13 times here today. Made 11 of those. That's 84% if you're doing the math at home.
And as Tania Latson goes to the free throw line, you know, Melissa, I think I've said this a time or two on the air before. Florida State gets a lot of attention for how they can score the basketball, but when you look at a team that has forced 18 turnovers, well north of Clemson's average per game this season, they can get out and run in transition. Brooke Wyckoff told us before the game today, she said really after the trip to California that didn't go the way they wanted it to, it was a pretty simple conversation. We're clear on our identity, and we just need to get back to doing what we do. This is a big step in the right direction for FSU.
It certainly is, and taking care of the basketball, too, is something Florida State has been so good at. You talk about forcing those 18 turnovers. They've committed only 5 turnovers so far here while playing at this high pace.
Latson to the corner. Dos Santos gets the bounce, and that is assist number 10 for Tania.
Tania Latson, 20 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds for the Noles tonight to lead the way.
And 4 steals, because why not? Another bucket for Clemson, who continues to fight now inside the last minute. Clemson's really asserted themselves well, and I think there are really bright days ahead for them, especially with Sean Poppy, Chris Ayers, Sydney Means, and Caitlin Grasillo at the helm.
Yeah, there's certainly a bright future in this Clemson Tigers team. Florida State just too much here in the 4th quarter, 26-12. They've outscored the Tigers in the 4th.
Porter picking her way through traffic. Poole is short, and FSU can dribble this thing out. FSU will improve to 14-4 and 4-2 in conference play. A strong response after a tough weekend for the Noles, with Miami making the trip to Tallahassee this weekend.
Yeah, alumni weekend as well for these Florida State